another episode of WedTalks, and I'm super excited to have Erin with Exclusive Events. She owns a rental company here in St. Louis, Missouri, and it's really just a cool vendor to have on because a lot of people don't realize how many things go into producing a wedding, and they think that the decor is just flowers.
Somehow shows up.
Yeah. So here's Erin, and I'm going to kind of let her tell you a little bit about herself, and then we'll get started.
Okay, thanks, Lauren. So we call our company Exclusive Events Incorporated is an event design and production company. So we do have rentals. We have non-traditional rentals, custom bars that we fabricate in our shop, in our paint space, everything from custom dance floors, stages, but primarily we are lighting designers. So most of the staff have come from a theater background. So we use the principles of theatrical lighting, custom fabrication for sets and lighting, and we just kind of implement them really, really fast in venues. So when you see social media photographs or anything like in a reality television show, and you see maybe a custom arch or a custom escort wall, or not even a wall, it could just be an installation of some sort. We're the people who build that and install it over time, draping and things like that.
And people have no idea. They usually ask us, how do we do that?
Right. Or they're confused on who does it.
Yeah.
They're not really quite sure. I mean, they know their coordinators, they know their venue, the caterer, their florist, but there's also that other aspect of a production company who does logistics. When we build huge installations of trellises over dance floors and things like that, the logistics of figuring out how to build it safely, maybe so it can hold weight, how far it can span over a section without failing. So there's a lot. It's a lot of pretty things, but it's a lot of technical and logistical things to think about too. And our tech team worries about that.
Well, and I love the lighting component because even here, and I'm not scared to say it, no one's hit that mark yet.
Oh my goodness. You have no idea. I cannot wait this year because I know we have some really, really pretty lighting installations that are going to happen here at Westwind Hills. So
it sets the whole mood and it lights all your decor. And I mean, tell me about it.
It just enhances everything. And so your vaulted ceilings, the natural light that you have, it's all incredible. It's like an art palette that you have for lighting. Not every place is so blessed to have such a beautiful palette to do that in. Having neutral white cream type walls are perfect. The lighting stays true. It doesn't change colors with like a brown wall or even a gray wall or a pattern or anything like that. So it's literally like taking a canvas and you have this amazing canvas that you can do anything from just simple uplights to pin spots, which are a direct focus of light on the tables to shine downward, or maybe a very subtle pattern that you can't even really tell what it is, but it feels like there's movement in the room. It's all done with lighting.
Yeah.
Lighting is huge. Lighting's huge not only to enhance your venue. Lighting doesn't hide a venue. Lighting only enhances it. It enhances the architecture. It makes the room even taller and grander. It fills the space. But at the same time with filling the space upward, we often like to focus on downward as well. So you can ignore your tables, you can ignore your bars, things like that really need extra attention. So we both light up and we light down at the same time when given the opportunity because it's a balance. It's a balance.
Yeah. Well, as a photographer, I love that side because when I'm photographing a reception space, it really makes a difference in the floral arrangements and making things pop. And
you spend all of this money on beautiful beaded dresses, intricate florals with just beautiful colors. Your linens, you might have chosen these beautiful linens, but once the sun goes down and the lights are dim and you have candlelight, it's great. You can't really see them.
Yeah.
So that's why we do down lighting. We call it down lighting. It is possible that we've chosen our own words for things in-house, but that's just kind of how we communicate with each other. So we just do down lighting just to make sure all of your details really, really pop and all of the effort that you've gone into choosing all of these beautiful things are well seen. That's really important to us.
Super important. And I think some of the main things that our clients are interested in this space, even with just a very modest, normal budget range wedding,
Right.
are staging,
Yeah.
maybe even custom dance floors.
Right.
Those things can be so impactful on a space.
It's really true. So you can do black and white dance floor. I mean, the options are almost endless, really. Especially with vinyl wrapping, you can vinyl wrap. We also custom paint in house. So we have an event coming up. That is it's a 60s theme, because we don't just do weddings, we do other things too. And we custom painted a dance floor and a tie-dye. So that's coming up here in a few weeks.
Awesome.
So there's a lot of things that you can do to personalize your day. Also, it's important to know if you're doing a stage and a dance floor, even if you've seen a photograph of that happen before and you love it, you don't have to be unique every single time. You don't have to be like, oh, this has never been done before. I need to reinvent the wheel. There is a time and place for that, but it's okay if you have a really beautiful elevated stage and a dance floor that you've seen a photograph of and you would like to do that, because it's really about your day. And even though it might have been done in the past, it's okay, because it just makes your day special, and that's what really counts.
Yeah, and classic never goes out of style.
Never goes out of style.
A white molding classic stage.
Absolutely. It's timeless.
Yes, timeless.
It's timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another question that I get from a lot of people coming through here, especially our higher end weddings, we do not have any hang points in the ceiling.
Right.
So people see these tent installations and they're beautiful.
Right.
But they want to hang things.
Right.
So tell me your ideas. What could you do at Westwind Hills, maybe for a reception or ceremony, to give you kind of that same vibe?
That height. I have to tell you that your florist is your best friend when it comes to height. We absolutely enjoy working with a seasoned, well-designed florist. We work together. So it may be times where, especially for a ceremony, they need some height, and the florist may not have a shop to build a structure tall enough. We'll build something very tall for them, and then they make it look beautiful with florals. We might add a little bit of drapery. I would say at Westwind Hills, your ceiling is it might be high, there might not be any hang points, but that is such a bonus. It is such a bonus to be able to have such height and such beauty. Every venue is a little different. You don't necessarily need to hang anything. You just know going in that these are the areas of this venue that we accentuate. We accentuate with lighting, floral, things like that, and you don't necessarily have to hang things. It's important to keep that in mind whenever you are planning. And if you really do want to hang something, anything can be done. We can bring in pergola structures, or we can build arbors or arches, or we can build things inside of a room. But if you do that, you also have to know here that you will be losing a little bit of the view above.
Right.
So it's just really what's important to you.
Yeah, and everybody has their own preferences.
Right. We just talk it out. We talk it out in the meetings. We just talk about, what's important to you. What are you trying to achieve? I always make a point in our design meetings to go through every single detail of what to expect. We've been in business for 20 years, so I've seen everything. I've created quite a bit. I have learned to make sure the most important thing to me is that you're realistic with expectations. It doesn't do anybody any favors if they bring you a photograph that is so incredibly different from the art palette that you're working with here. You just need to talk it through and what to expect, because at the end, everybody will be happy because they aren't surprised. They know what to expect, and their expectations have been managed.
Yeah. Well, so typically, are clients working with a planner that come to you, or do clients come to you without a planner?
I would say it's about 50-50.
50-50.
Quite honestly. I would say I really enjoy working with a planner. It's the little nuances that they remember and that they think about, especially planners that I might have worked with in the past and that have some experience behind them. Everybody has to start somewhere, but experienced planners are worth their weight in gold because they really understand the nuance of timing, of logistics. All of these things are really, really important to a design as well.
And here especially, when oftentimes we're flipping that ceremony space to turn it into like a club lounge.
Right.
You have to be able to make that happen in, 90 minutes max.
Exactly.
And that takes a team from the planner to the florist to you guys.
Yes.
Everybody has to work together to do that.
Right. I think sometimes brides may not understand the vendor relationship and how important that is with each other. We have to work together. We have conversations before your wedding. We talk about timelines. It's more than just a piece of paper. We say, where is your truck going to be? You have to go through this door. I have a huge drape installation in front of this door. You can't roll through it. You go first. It's really, really imperative to talk to each other and to really hire experienced vendors that have worked with each other in the past, because it just flows so smoothly. Experience is key.
Yeah, it's not just us wanting to get our friends a job.
No.
We work together behind the scenes, and we trust that these people are going to get it done right for our client.
Yes, absolutely. It's a rhythm. And oftentimes people will ask me to recommend a florist or any other vendor for enhancement, because we work together so much. My work in dance floors, stages, ceremonies, lighting, everything really works hand in hand with the florist most often, and as well as the venue. And they'll ask me recommendations. I'll ask them what their style is. Are they very boho? Are they very traditional? And that kind of helps me lead them to somebody that would be a good fit for them to look at.
Yeah.
So when people say, oh, you only, recommend your friends, or like, to your point, it's really not true.
No.
It's really not true.
No.
It's very much who is in your best interest. At least that's my point of view, is that I truly want to make sure that your design decisions are in your best interest.
Same here. And it's funny because since we've opened the venue, we have people come out of the woodwork that say, how do we get on your vendor list, or how do we work together? And we love new partnerships. We do. We've made a lot of new friendships and partnerships the last year.
Right.
But there's nothing that's going to replace time and experience with a relationship.
Yeah.
And the truth is, you just can't get on a list with us.
Right.
You have to work with us, and we have to know that you're going to be amazing to work with behind the scenes, and that you're going to deliver something exceptional to a client.
It does have to happen organically.
Yes,
absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I'm going to hit you with another question.
Sure.
So what is one thing here at Westwind Hills, or really any venue, that a client shouldn't forget about when it comes to your sort of business?
So what they shouldn't forget about, I would definitely, if you have a band or a DJ, elevate them. Create a stage. Not only do you need that delineation, I think, between performance and having fun, but your band needs to be able to see who they're playing to. They need to be able to read the room. But what's really great is make that stage exciting if you can, whether it's custom painted stages or stage backdrops, just depending on your style. Yeah. Or let's say if it's in front of the window, your gorgeous windows here, you don't want to cover the windows. Great, absolutely. Then we just make the front of the stage either blend in with the dance floor and be personalized.
Yeah.
It's such an easy thing to do because stages are considered rental items, but what you put on the front of the stage is considered a design custom piece. It makes it special to you.
Well, and I love too that you guys can mold and change, because specifically talking about that wedding we had on May 5th, the client had an idea to have the big backdrop with their names on it.
Right.
And I think it was originally like a photo backdrop, and they decided to put it on the stage, right?
Right, exactly.
So, and with them coming out here and doing site visits and just kind of, brainstorming, we were all like, why wouldn't that be the backdrop to the stage? That's what everybody's looking
I
at.
love stage backdrops.
Yes.
I love it. And I love that we have the height here to do really impressive, beautiful stage backdrops. Your ceiling is just beautiful and vaulted. And then you have a gorgeous crystal chandelier right in the middle of the room. You just cannot beat it. You just cannot beat it.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
It's
We appreciate
amazing. It's amazing. I remember when I saw you for the first time, like, oh my goodness, that chandelier, that must have been like amazing. And you're like, yeah, I cried when we got it. And I definitely believe it.
We named the room after. So
right, exactly.
We love it.
Right. But stage backdrops are really great. We will often bring that in with the front of the stage or the dance floor. Also, it's a great opportunity to personalize it. So that wedding that you were talking about, we actually used their last name on the front of it. Their name was very important to them. So we incorporated that, but we did it at 12 feet tall, so you have a typical, band performer that might be 6 feet, 6.5 feet. But if you're going 12 feet high, you still have that height behind them.
Well, those are the things you have to think about. Scale.
Scale.
Scale matters.
Scale is huge.
Yes.
Scale is absolutely enormous. And if you don't quite have the budget to make everything big and everything super grand, focus on one thing.
Everybody can focus on one thing.
All your energy to one thing. Focus on whatever is important to you. Is the lighting important to you? Great, do that. Is your escort wall, which I often see lots of times, and I know we have some fun stuff coming up, but we have been incorporating escort walls where guests know where to be seated, but also with like champagne. So you kind of blend them together. And you just really do unique things like that. Also, escort walls can turn into photo areas afterwards. They really can be used for many, many different ways.
So you can think outside of the box and get more bang for your buck by kind of repurposing something.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And escort walls and champagne walls and welcome drink walls, things like that. It can also be a mixture of rental items, but it can also be a custom build too. We love custom fabrication. We love doing new things. We also equally like doing rental items and changing those up too into something different that hasn't been used before. So both are equally fun.
Well, and someone might be thinking, what the hell is an escort wall?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we should talk about that too.
So, it's basically an interactive seating chart.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah. And you can be as creative as you would like. Anything from a simple wall that is a wood wall that is upright, because if it's a slightly windy outside, you need to make sure it doesn't move. Again, going back to all the logistics that we think about at the same time. But it can be a simple wood wall that we hand paint a specific color for you, and we use little gold nails, and we just put in your seating cards just like with a little hook or something like that. That is beautiful presentation. But it can also be something very grand where we build arches in our fabrication shop, or we build angles, or we have a computer saw, it's called a CNC machine, that maybe will cut designs and make them 3-dimensional, things like that. You can do a paint by number coloring wall that has people's names that you color in when you arrive. I mean, just the options are completely endless. You can copy something from you've seen before, or you can brainstorm and come up with something unique for you.
Well, and I think coming up with something unique with that aspect of the day is so fun, because it can be such a play on your personality.
Right.
And it can really showcase you as a couple. And yes, most people know you that are coming to a wedding.
Right.
But there are like dates and people who may not know you super well.
Right.
So it's a way for them to get to know the couple together.
You know what's really great? One of the most fun that I've done in the past is a wall that behind, like on the actual wall, was a photograph of their pet. That was their baby. It was their baby. Obviously, pets really matter. And so it was a photograph of their pet that had a cute saying on it. And then we completely covered it with the escort walls, the cards, so you couldn't see it. And as people took away the cards, then it gradually revealed something, and it became a photo backdrop afterwards. They took their picture next to it later, So it just kind of really uses their personality, what matters to them, what message they want to give to their guests. It just really makes their guests, or a personalization that they bring in for themselves, just really, it's like interactive.
It's an experience for the
right,
guest.
exactly.
It's not just a pretty piece of decor.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. And I
what's
think
fun.
that's everything that you guys do focuses on creating a great, really cool guest experience.
Right.
So I think don't overlook the decor
Right.
and the production side of things, because
Yeah.
that's really what it is. It's not decor.
Yeah.
It's production.
It's production.
Elements.
Yeah, it's you're creating a movie set. You're creating a television set. You're creating an experience that your guests will experience for that short 5 hours of their evening that they will remember and they will talk about forever. And we get to use the beautiful palette of the space and completely enhance it, transform it, make it unique to that individual, whether it's colors, patterns, anything like that. And, I can't tell you how many times I've met with clients after the fact who have said, my family is still talking about it, because you've created a special environment for them that they don't normally get to experience.
Yeah.
It's for you as the client, as the bride, as the groom, but it is also for your guests as well.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what a wedding day is. The whole thing is a feeling.
Right.
For the bride and groom, it's something that you're going to remember forever.
Right.
And it's going to give you chill bumps or
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You
Really
want,
good warm memories.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, we can't wait to have you back at the
Thank
venue.
you.
And,
Thank you for having me.
Erin at Exclusive Events. Make sure you get them on board if you're interested. ASAP. They only take select weddings every weekend to be able to have the capacity to build these amazing things. So we'll post her information, and we can't wait to have you more.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
Thanks, Erin.
Thanks.